he gave me the keys to his place on our second date.
What? Why?
Hi, everyone. You're listening to The Modern Bay Woman. I'm Cathy.
And I'm Jackie, and this is the podcast where career-driven, wellness-minded Bay Area women come together to
Share their thoughts and feelings
laugh through dating stories
and find community in this journey we call life.
Welcome to episode 3. In the previous episode, Cathy and I talked about going on first dates and red flags versus green flags. So if you want to know more about our first dates and some of the red flags that we came across, listen to episode 2, First Dates, Red Flags, and Green Flags.
And in this episode, we're going to talk about how my second dates went and love bombing.
You decided there were 2 guys you wanted to go on second dates with, Cathy. White boy number 2 and the Chinese guy. How did these come about?
Yeah, so for white boy number 2, we went on a second date the following week. We actually met up on a weekday because I have to come into the city every Wednesday and Thursday to be on site for work. It was super cute. He came to pick me up from my office and we walked over to a sushi spot for dinner because we both love sushi.
I love sushi too, but I also love that he came to your office to scoop you up. How did it go?
It went great. The sushi spot was intimate enough for us to chat and get to know each other more. Then we went back to his place and I enjoyed staying over since it was more convenient for me to get to the office next day. Literally saves me so much time. It's like a 15-minute commute versus an hour. And I remember my running joke when I first went on the dating apps was I need to find a man in San Francisco so I can get to work more easily.
Yeah, and I was like, sounds good to me, then we get to hang out more. But there is also more to it, right? Like, you really like him.
Yeah, of course. Our vibes are amazing, though I do wonder and worry if he's love bombing me because he gave me the keys to his place on our second date.
What? Why?
Yeah, I literally was like, I feel special that you trust me so much, but also, how do you know I'm not like a serial killer, you know? So, Jackie, if someone had given you a key on the second date, what would your reaction have been?
That's an interesting question because I don't think I've ever been given a key, but I do think my man and I moved pretty quickly. On our 4th date, I think, after like a month of not seeing each other, it was gonna be a New Year's Eve party with all of his friends. So maybe it's not as fast as the key thing, but I was kind of on the fence about going to that because I thought it was kind of too soon.
You really thought meeting his friends after the 4th date was too fast? Damn. Then white boy number 2 and I are probably Speedy McSpeedster in your mind.
I mean, kind of. It's funny. I think we all have variations of what the milestone should be in our head, but generally, what I've heard from my friends is follows. It's like meet the friends, meet the parents, leave stuff like a toothbrush, then getting a key. So maybe that's why it feels like a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, it seems we skipped a couple steps or fast forwarded to episode 5 of a show instead of going through 2 through 4. And his logic was that he wanted to make sure I could get into his place safely, even if our schedules didn't align. I was going to be recording this podcast with you that night, and he was going to be out with his coworkers for dinner until pretty late.
Okay, so that sounds just very thoughtful. Anyways, back to love bombing. Everyone is hyper aware of love bombing thanks to the commoditization of psychology podcasts and YouTube channels. I feel like it's used out of context sometimes. So I want to do a quick definition of what love bombing is before we continue the conversation. Cathy, can you read what Google has to say here?
Yes. So, love bombing is a form of emotional manipulation and abuse where a person showers a new partner with excessive affection, attention, gifts, and compliments early in a relationship. Its purpose is to create intense dependency and gain control, often turning into abusive behavior once the victim is emotionally invested. So, Jackie, You've been in a relationship for 7 years. Have you ever looked back and wondered if you or your boyfriend were love bombing each other?
Based on that definition, clearly no. We definitely got excited quickly, but excitement and manipulation aren't the same thing. So tell us, why are you worried about love bombing?
Well, our first date was 24 hours long.
Oh shit. I guess that is right. Meeting earlier than planned, staying over, looking at houses for his friend. This makes me think of marathon dating. Have you heard of it?
No, what's that?
Okay, let's Google this one too. Kathy, will you read what Google says about marathon dating?
Sure. So, marathon dating refers to exceptionally long, multi day, or intensive initial dates, often lasting many hours or even an entire weekend, while aimed at building a rapid, deep connection or testing long term compatibility.
Okay, now that we've defined marathon dating, I don't think that marathon dates are an automatic red flag. Sometimes you meet somebody, next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. and you're wondering where the day went. I think the question is why it's happening. Did you feel pressured to stay? Or did you keep looking at the clock going, how is it already tomorrow?
I would say it's definitely the latter. On our first date, he grabbed my hand within the first 10 minutes of our conversation across the table. Then we were holding hands, walking down the street, acting like we had been together for a long time. It didn't feel like a first date, maybe because we texted each other so much beforehand.
Oof, I don't know. I feel like texting ahead can lead to high expectations when you like text or make some type of emotional connection before meeting in person, though.
Yeah, maybe. It was really exciting and fun getting to know him. I laughed so much. And then we went to get drinks, dinner, and then back to his place.
Okay, that sounds normal. Like you're having such a great time with each other that you just keep hanging out.
Yeah, but the next day we got brunch and I met one of his friends.
Wait, so you didn't meet the friend at the open house? You had like met for brunch ahead of time?
No, so we had brunch ourselves and then we went over to his friend's place before going to look at open houses all together. I guess he wanted to do both things.
So have his cake and eat it too? LOL, JK. It sounds like he enjoyed hanging out with you and wanted to go see open houses with his friend too. So killing two birds with one stone, kind of.
Basically, I did go on another first date that night. So, am I the red flag? Actually, what would you have thought if I called you after that first date and told you all this?
Dude, I don't know. If I had heard all of this right after the first date, I think I would be pretty weary. It sounds like it's way too much, way too soon. And I might have labeled it love bombing in that moment too. Did you text your group chat about it at all?
Yes. So some people were like, damn, girl, y'all are moving kind of fast. Be careful. He could turn out to be crazy. And then some people were like, oh, that's sweet. It seems like he's really into you.
So some people thought it was romantic and some people told you to run. Um did anyone completely change their opinion later?
I did have some friends who met him and liked him, so they looked at him more favorably. And I feel like it's normal to have your friends be protective of you, especially when you're dating someone new.
Fair. Okay. What's happened since then?
So we text every day. And then, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, he gave me a key to his place.
Right. Continue.
So, sidebar, I came back home late from a date one night and didn't text him goodnight since I didn't want to wake him up. And then I didn't see a good morning text from him the next day. So I texted him good morning first, even though typically he texts me first. And then that's when he texted me back and told me he was sad that I didn't text him good night. And I was like, dude, I was so sad you didn't text me good morning.
Yeah, see, I feel like that could be the start of love bombing. It's like he might be testing how emotionally invested you are and like how you react to him being sad.
Yeah, I feel like I knew something was off when I didn't see the good morning text because he usually texts me first in the morning.
Hmm. I don't know. It could be seen as you already anticipating emotional needs, but It can also be that you just set a schedule and are so early that a change in a routine feels hard to navigate.
Yeah, but I do like how open we both are with each other about how we feel along the journey. And it's cute that we both feel something when we don't see a simple good morning or a good night text from the other person. I think it means we care about the other person more than we want to admit. Or are we both just love bombing each other?
um, I feel like you're balancing a fine line right now. I'll say it also feels like you could just be forming your habits for the relationship. Like, is that how you usually set up your relationships early on?
I do like constant communication to show you're thinking about the other person. It doesn't have to be text me every hour of every day because we have work and other things going on, but at least saying good morning and good night and sending each other a text or, an Instagram story when you come across something that makes you think of them is sweet.
Okay, so yes, I feel like it's fair to say that's how you like your relationship to be. And you're setting up that habit of communication and how the cadence is around how much you text and talk and things like that.
Yeah, and I feel like we're both moving pretty fast emotionally and physically, but not in a controlling or needy way. We just do things that feel natural. And Jackie, if you remember for your birthday, he did come with me. What did you think of us then? Were we doing too much?
No, I thought it was fine. He seemed really friendly and I didn't notice like y'all holding hands or doing any PDA or anything like that. But some other people thought you were together for like 5 years. So clearly you two had that aura. What made you want to bring him, by the way?
Well, you said it was okay to bring him, so I was like, sure, why not? I already met a few of his friends, so I thought it might be good for him to meet some of my friends just so we can get their thoughts on him.
I see. Yeah. So we talked a lot about white boy number two. Tell me more about your second date with the Chinese guy.
So we went to this cash only Chinese restaurant for clay pot rice in San Francisco Chinatown because we were talking about the best spots for clay pot rice since we both really enjoy eating it. And I was like, you have to try this place. It's so good. And he's like, let's do it. Ask your assistant to pencil me in to your schedule. And I'm like, okay, well, Miss He will be available next Wednesday at 6 p.m. See you then. Anyways, shout out to Ma's Dim Sum Cafe. Highly recommend trying them if you're in the mood for clay pot rice.
Okay. So for those who don't know or haven't Googled Kathy yet, she is a Yelp elite. So when you eat with Kathy, the camera eats first. Anyways, what did you guys eat at the restaurant?
So we got the mixed preserved meat clay pot rice, also known as the latme bo jai fan for those of you who speak Canto. The meat's super fragrant with the rice. It's a literal comfort food. We also got the stir-fried pea sprouts that dai dao miu, which are my favorite veggies.
Those are my favorite veggies too. So this date was out actually around your birthday. Did you guys go out for a sweet treat too?
Yeah, so he took me to get dessert at a local pastry shop called Stella Pastry, and I chose the tiramisu, and the cold cream on top straight from the fridge is so good. It was like less good by the time we ate it at his place since it kind of warmed up on the way back, but I would still recommend trying it, especially if you can just eat it right then and there.
Okay, so you guys go back to his place. That's cute. What was the vibe? Tell us about the setup because this is like birthday special.
Yeah, so he got happy birthday plates and sparkler candles to celebrate my birthday. It was to show that we, quote unquote, have a spark because in my Hinge profile, I was like, let's skip the small talk and see if we have that in person spark.
That's so cute. Was there anything else? Any presents?
So he packed me a homemade lunch for work the next day and gave me one of those viral mini Trader Joe's bags that is so cute. And then,
So cute. You're so
yeah.
on style right now.
I know, so cute. And I was like, you actually have one? Yeah, if you want to give it to me, I'll definitely take it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Then he cut up fruit for me from his family farm. He actually cut up extra fruit for me to bring to the podcast recording to share with you since he knew I'd be working on my podcast. But I think I might have ate it all before it got to you.
Damn, dude, I don't get any fruit.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay, he sounds so sweet.
Yeah, what would have won you overboard, Jackie? The lunch or the birthday decorations?
Definitely the birthday decorations. I just feel like it's so unexpected. But after 7 years together with my man, the expensive dinner or the decorations are not the parts that I remember. I love that my partner writes a card for me on my birthday. He's a beautiful writer, and for him, word choices really matter. So every birthday card he writes, I feel like it's very thoughtful and it's really coming from a special place in his heart. So all these things the Chinese guy has done sound so sweet. Like they really hit the mark for you.
Yeah, he was so sweet. This was my second date with this guy, and he did all of this. Clearly, he listens, he's thoughtful, and he's a great person. I really felt like he was pulling out all the stops for me.
So at this point, you have had several dates with white boy number two and have gone on a second date with the Chinese guy. Where are we? How are we feeling?
Honestly, I'm so torn between the two.
But eventually, you are going to pick. You do want to be monogamous, right? So I really want to focus on how you decide. We're going off vibes, but that is informed by a lot of things. And we discussed on an earlier episode, we talked about dating for your checklist or dating for vibes. I know you said you were going for vibes, but you also like to compare and contrast. So tell me about your process this time around.
So, this is going to sound super basic, but I literally made a pros and cons list. Have you ever done that?
Definitely not around dating, but I've definitely ranked people in my head. Like, even if you don't write it down, I know you're comparing and contrasting in your head. So, in your pros and cons list, what were your findings?
So the vibes with white boy number two are phenomenal. We have so much fun with each other and just seem to click really well. I don't really know how to explain it. I just love that he's generous, he's patient, he's understanding, and he has really high EQ. He's also ambitious and motivated both in his 9 to 5 and in his side hustle. We also enjoy the same bougie lifestyle, eating out, trying new restaurants. Clearly, we both love that omakase.
Oh, yeah. So that seems to be in line with what you said you were looking for earlier. Just like you don't remember exactly what happened or what someone said, but you remember that you had so much fun and it felt really good. So, what about the Chinese guy?
So with the Chinese guy, our vibes are fun but also serious. And I love that he speaks Canto so he can communicate with my parents. He works at a job that he's passionate about and makes a difference in students' lives. He's really good at saving money, super in shape, clean, and organized.
It sounds like you have a lot of cultural alignment and that you respect him a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so those are the pros. Tell us about the cons.
So, as much as I love eating out, white boy number two eats out like every meal, which is delicious, but also way less healthy. And you're definitely going to be dropping way more money. So, I swear I'm going to get fat with him. He also doesn't shower at night. And I'm like, dude, you're actively choosing to go to bed at night dirty without getting clean first. You have the grime of the outside world all up on you. Like, gross.
Does he not shower every day?
No, he just like showering in the morning to be fresh for work in the outside world. I'm like, okay, but what about being fresh for the bed and for yourself and like for me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like that's a cultural thing. Us sweaty Europeans need to wash our pits before we go see people.
I don't really agree with that, but sure, each to each their own. He's also a bit disorganized. Things are a bit all over the place. He's not dirty, but kind of messy.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something you can tolerate for any period of time.
Yeah, I feel like the OCD in me would just like want to clean it all up for him and then just hope it stays clean after that.
Yeah.
But honestly, the biggest con for me is that he snores at night. As someone who really values my sleep, and someone who needs good sleep to function at my best the next day, that might be a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, if you can't do earplugs, that's not something you can fix easily. Anyways, what about the Chinese guy?
For the Chinese guy, I don't think he values traveling or eating out at restaurants the same way I do. So, long term, it might be hard if he doesn't want to go out to eat or travel to a new country as consistently as I do. Our ideal lifestyles may not be aligned.
Yeah, I get that. You kind of go on multiple international trips a year, and you also like to go to a lot of travel within the country as well. Like, I know I've met up with you for national park trip.
Yes, it was so much fun.
So it might be something that you compromise on, but probably would cause some frustration long term.
Yeah, I feel like he just needs to be smart with his money and know how to make a dollar stretch so we can do some of the things that we both value, if not all of them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Also, his current communication style seems to be relatively minimal. He doesn't actively share details of his day with me, but we also haven't really talked about that, so who knows if that'll change.
I see. Yeah. Like it could be an issue, but y'all are just getting to know each other. So it makes sense that you wouldn't be electing to overshare.
So, Jackie, before I tell everyone who I decided on in the next episode, who would you have picked?
It's hard to say without you spending more time with the Chinese guy, but I support whoever you choose. For those of you listening, who do you think Cathy is going to choose? And who are you rooting for? White boy number two or the Chinese guy, and why?
Let us know and stay tuned for the next episode to see if you're right. We would love to hear from you.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode and we'd love to hear from you. You can find us on YouTube and Instagram as The Modern Bay Woman.
Follow us, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment, send us an email or a voice memo. Give us all the real feels and thoughts you may have. Bye.